Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Hope your day is going well so far. We got some Seahawks numbers to take a look at here today, but before we get into this, the pass coverage numbers from the most recent game, me and the Hawks Nest will be on his channel today in about 2 hours, so like 3 o'clock my time. 2 hours after the upload of this video, go to the Hawks Nest channel. If you're not already subscribed to him, you probably should be. But even if you don't want to, you can still watch me and him do our collaboration video. We're going to be talking about this game. We're going to be talking about the next game. We're going to be talking about the team. You guys know how we do things. Show up, support his channel, support me. We always produce good content over there. So go check it out. It'll be on his channel this week. And with that, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these numbers here. There is some stuff in the pass coverage metrics to like. Washington mostly went after our linebackers. Washington mostly targeted Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks in coverage. So most of the bigger numbers we're going to get out of the way early here. And then we're going to have some positive things to talk about later in this video. Now, if the linebackers were not such easy targets, would Taylor Heineke have gone after our corners a little more? Obviously. But nevertheless, the deficiencies in this team's pass coverage are clear after this most recent game. So Bobby Wagner, he got targeted 7 times and allowed 6 completions, so he's still getting picked on a lot. He's holding up okay overall. He's not allowing big plays. But in this most recent game, he did allow 44 yards in pass coverage, which is... It's getting close to the area where we have to start going, man, this Bobby Wagner guy can't hold up in coverage anymore. He's at 417 yards allowed in coverage this season, which isn't too bad for 61 targets. 417 yards on 61 pass plays is reasonable. However, that's kind of representative of the problem with his defense, right? They bend, and most of the time they don't break. But they bend so far that it's still really holding you back. So Bobby Wagner is doing okay, but his coverage last year was almost certainly better, and we'll see how he ends up wrapping up this season, but he's probably going to get over 500 yards allowed in coverage by the end of the year, maybe 600 even, which is not what we were hoping for, and his QB rating allowed is right over 100. Now, Jordan Brooks did actually play kind of a bad game. He was targeted, let's see here, 7 times. He allowed 7 completions for 60 yards, and his QB rating allowed is 117.7. Jordan Brooks didn't play a bad game overall, but in coverage, he's still struggling, and it's a problem. Darrell Taylor was not targeted. Cody Barton did not play linebacker, so that's it for the linebackers. But over 100 yards combined between those two players, Wagner and Brooks. They have now allowed a combined 100 completions and almost 1,000 yards on the season. This is an issue. This is a problem. It wouldn't be a big issue if we were winning games and they were giving up stuff in garbage time, but we're not. We're 3-8. So it's an issue. Okay, now we go to cornerbacks, and the news here is a lot better. DJ Reed did his Deion Sanders impression against the Washington football team. He was targeted once, allowed 1 completion for 12 yards, according to PFR. Now, look, if the linebackers were not such easy targets, the cornerbacks would get targeted more. That's obvious. But DJ Reed has been playing really good football ever since he got moved over to his best side of the defense. Those first 3 games were brutal. But ever since he moved back to his more natural side, he's been playing great, and he's earned himself some money this offseason somewhere. QB rating allowed is 82.8, and he's doing all this with a terrible pass rush. So props to DJ Reed. He's one of the guys this year who I don't really have anything bad to say about. Our other starting corner, Sidney Jones, was picked on early, but he held up pretty well, and by the end of that game, Washington went away from him. He was targeted 5 times, allowed 1 completion. He did get hit with a pass interference call, which... I don't know if it was a bad call, but it was a thin call. I'm not too mad at Sidney Jones for that. Now, that was a significant play in this game for sure, but the 1 completion he actually allowed didn't go for any yards, apparently. PFR said that he didn't allow any passing yards in this game. So, hey, Sidney Jones, I was hard on him at first. I still don't think he's good, but he's playing better. He's getting better by the week. His QB rating allowed is down to 110 about, which doesn't sound like an achievement, and it's not, but he's getting better. And by the end of this year, we might have a guy who I don't completely hate. So, Sidney Jones, props to you. The next three guys on this list did not play for one reason or another, so that leaves us with just Hugo Amadi. Now, he had a holding call, which was ticky-tack, but in terms of what he did in coverage, in terms of metrics, pretty good. He was targeted twice, allowed 2 completions for a grand total of 13 yards. QB rating allowed 98.1. Now, he's not making plays. He's not developing the way I was hoping. But Hugo Amadi's having a decent season. I'm not here to say anything too negative about him. He's fine. He's okay. I want to get better going forward, but it's not like he's the problem this year. And obviously you can point to that holding call. That was a big turning point in that game for the football team, but I thought that was a thin call, so I'm not too mad about it. Okay, safeties to wrap up this video. Jamal Adams played pretty well in coverage. He was targeted 5 times and gave up, according to PFR, 3 completions for a grand total of 21 yards. He had a interception. Now, he did get docked with a touchdown allowed, so it wasn't his best game. But look, his defense, I know the guy dropped the pass, but he was blanketing the receiver on that 4th down drop that extended the game. So Jamal Adams, he's not everything we want him to be. It was a dumb trade, blah, 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 blah. But whatever you can say about Jamal Adams, he is playing well in coverage so far this season. His coverage numbers are much better than they were last year, so at least we got that going for us. 74.5 passer rating against. Even though the interception he got was a volleyball, which I'm not going to ascribe huge meaning to that, he's still starting to make some plays now, so good for him. Quandre Diggs got targeted a little bit in this game, 5 times, allowed 4 completions for a grand total of 45 yards. So not his best game, but nothing to alarm anybody about. He's still good. He's still playing good overall. QB rating allowed 46.1. So he's definitely one of the guys on this team who I don't really have anything negative to say about. So Quandre Diggs played not his best game. He played whatever. Ryan Neal did not get targeted. He didn't play very much. And that's it for pass coverage Thursday. The linebackers take a lion's share of the blame. The safeties got picked on a little bit. And the cornerbacks, not a whole lot of action there, which, good for them. I mean, they're going up against Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's a great receiver. So to limit what he can do is good. But we have a problem at linebacker. And again, this wouldn't be a big deal if these were garbage time yards, garbage time completions, garbage time coverage lapses. But this is not garbage time. We're losing these games. So, got to get better. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get better because Bobby's getting older and Brooks, he's not good in coverage. We know that. We knew that when we drafted him. So, I don't know if it's going to get better. All right. See you guys later. Hawks and S channel later today. Be there. Go Hawks.